Hello, I hope this video finds you on a beautiful day. Unlike today, it's quite rainy and dark out, unless you like these cozy days. But it is a perfect day to do a YouTube video. So for as long as I can remember, Martha Stewart has been a part of my family, and not literally, of course, but she was on our television frequently, and I do remember watching her as a small child with my mom and with my dad, and she would teach our family how to do the Thanksgiving turkey and do Christmas dinners and do DIY projects and give us gardening tips and you name it, anything household related. Martha Stewart knew and was teaching the public. Um, but there was a lot I did not know about her, even though she was a very familiar name and a familiar personality. Yes, there was a lot that I didn't know that I learned by researching her and her life for the leadership analysis project. So to start off with, she was born 1941 in New Jersey to a Polish family. It was a large family, and they were middle class, and so there wasn't a lot of money to go around, really, with her family. So at an early age, Martha Stewart, had an entrepreneur spirit, and so she used her beauty and she took on modeling and was discovered and had a successful modeling career, and that was able to put her through college and like I said, pay for her college, and she was able to earn a degree in art. Later, she found her husband, Andrew Stewart, who is a law student at Yale, and they were married and had their daughter Alexis. And growing up, she had learned her skills, her homemaking skills from her family. She learned her homemaking skills, cooking skills from her mother, and her gardening skills from her father. And so as she became a mother in her own household to her daughter, she used these skills to be the woman of her home. And I imagine she used this time to really hone in these skills. And she was also known to be a perfectionist. So I'm sure she had lots of practice during this time. And so, like many mothers, she wanted to have her own career, and she, like I said, had that entrepreneur spirit. So she started working as a stockbroker on Wall Street and was successful. And so she was able to earn a tidy sum of money off of Wall Street, and her husband used this money to purchase their iconic 19th century Connecticut home. They restored it, and many people who know of Martha and know her story know this iconic home. And so after she bought this home, she also started her own catering business, and she, again, was self-taught. She had these homemaking skills. She read traditional homemaking books and recipe books, and so she started this gourmet catering company that was very successful. She had a full-time staff, and at one point this business was worth over $1 million, which is very impressive for a mother of a young child. So around this time as well, she started to write food articles and was published by New York Times, and later had her own publications, her own magazine, Martha Stewart Living, and started her or was able to have her own TV shows too because of this and all her success. So with all her success, she started Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia, and this essentially was her company that included all of her business endeavors, business ventures, including her deal with Kmart. She was an official spokesperson for Kmart, and they gave her an exclusive deal to produce her own Kmart line. So this too was a part of her business, and with the Kmart and with her Omnimedia, she had revenue that was close to $1 billion. So it's just every business adventure that she had, she was getting more and more successful. So it was around this time when she was caught in scandal. Unfortunately, though she did take responsibility for the scandal, she was caught lying to the FBI, and it was all because of this internal trading scandal that happened in around the early 2000s. I believe the scandal broke 2002. So this was a scandal where the company Imclone, which was a biochemical company, the CEO knew that the company was not going to be doing well. There was some internal scandal within the company, and so he knew that the stock would essentially nosedive in this company, and so he let his friends and family know beforehand that that this company would crash, and so the shareholders were able to sell their shares and move on, except for that the FBI noticed this, that some people were able to avoid this downfall of this company and sell their stocks. So they investigated it, and basically they found that Martha Stewart lied about the insider information that she received, and so she was charged with obstructing justice, and so she had to serve 10 years. 5 were at a prison in West Virginia, and the other 5 she did a home confinement. She also had to pay $30,000. So yes, that was the big scandal that tainted her name and her reputation, her brand. So she, I'm sure she was thinking of ways to revitalize her brand after the scandal hit and while she was in prison. And then after she served her sentence, she came out and immediately started making new business ventures, new business deals with some old clients and some new clients, because some had abandoned her because of the scandal, but her audience was still there. Her audience still loved her. Her audience still wanted all those Martha secrets, those wonderful homemaking secrets. So she was able to revitalize her company because of the name she had made for herself in the past. She didn't come back the same way. It wasn't the same Martha. It was a new Martha. She was able to reinvent herself after the scandal. She now has an even wider audience. It's not just the same demographic that she had before. She's relevant, or even almost more relevant through social media and her new shows. One of her new shows is Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party. And I remember discovering the show and sending it to my sister and just like being just amazed by it. It's such a peculiar pairing. I would have never thought that Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg would have a show together, but here we are. And it's a sobering show, that's for sure. It's very refreshing. It's unlike any other um, homemaking show out there, really. Um, Martha really took that like perfectionist woman of the house, perfectionist wife, homemaker, mother ideal, and through her scandal showed people that nobody's perfect. And this new Martha is a very humbled Martha, a very laid back Martha, and she is inspiring women to be modernized homemakers. Um, and yes, I just think she is a phenomenal leader, even though she had many scandals. Um, okay. Well, I think that's everything that I researched. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.